Welcome back to another episode of Wayward Home, and we are back today on the world again, and we are adding on to our already created Wayward Kingdom over here. And today specifically, I had a little option between so many different places that we could add on, but I chose one specific place right in front of our last episode, or second to last episode, right here. So today right here, we are planning on doing a little bit of a seaport, sort of, where ships can't really land here, but that's going to be like the trading port and everything. But this is more going to be the town port in a sense, where there's going to be more housing and stuff than there are going to be shipping yards and all that kind of stuff. Which shipping yards and all that kind of stuff are going to be over there, which we're not doing in this episode, but we're going to have the houses and everything, and a little bit of a huge area right here to kind of place some houses and stuff on. But let's get right into it. So the plan for this area today is that we're going to have like a little steep or a little staircase that goes all the way down a good bit, all the way down to right there. And we're also going to have a little plateau or a little sort of area that sits above the water. That's going to be like stone and stuff, like a seaport side, something sort of like that, but just right here, but just curved and everything. And we're going to have the houses on here too, which is going to be a more dense populated area right through here to kind of create that kingdom type vibe when entering a kingdom. So like this part specifically, most houses can't really live up here just because there is chances of avalanche, rocks falling, all that kind of stuff. And there's greenery, all that kind of stuff, wheat, all that kind of stuff up there. But down here, the people live more safely, which it's a more dense area in a sense, which this one's more of a beaten path that allows for transportation and trade, while this one is more of a rural type area for more inner commerce and more of living type space. So our first thing we're going to do is the little area for the houses to sit on that are sort of on the water. So we have to make a little platform type thing, and I have a little design. It took me a second to figure out the design. I couldn't find anything on the internet that I wanted, so I kind of did my own little thing, tweaking and stuff. So I kind of figured out that this looks very good because you have the gradients coming in. So you have these ones that are like kind of water drawn and everything. So like the darker ones are like more deeper into the water that are always soaked. These are like soaked here and there. And then these are like ones that like rarely get soaked and stuff, but when dried, like it starts getting that cracking feeling or crack look. Also, we have this, so just in case a tsunami or something happens, or the water level gets insanely high where it starts splashing up and everything, this prevents the water from going any farther up into the little house area and into the little viewing area from here. And then you have the little not fence gate in a sense, and then the pillars that kind of connect the fence gates all the way around, which look insanely cool. And like I think I'm going to have it to like right here also. So this is going to be where you can like view the stuff from the side of the port, most likely, if that's the plan, I think. But yeah, that's going to be what we're going to be doing for the seaport on the design. So I think I'll collect all this right here. And also, yes, I am going to finish the bridge thing. So y'all in the comments can stop asking about it too at this point. The little other end of the bridge that we did last episode. See, we have it done now. But okay, we're going to head on back in just a second after I collect my little chest or shulker box of tuff right here and start working on our little seaport type thing right here. So we are finally onto the first part of the whole entire build, and we are now going all the way over here to kind of connect it in a sense. So over here, we're not going to like cut off our little thing that has grown up so much. Absolutely looks amazing right now. But we're going to like kind of curve it a good bit over there and then start going back a little bit and then curve around for a second. until we get like somewhere maybe right there, because it's going to change at that point. And then we're also going to go over here a little bit too. If you can kind of see the little design, you can see it like go over there a little bit, curve back around, go a little bit inwards here, and then out again, and then back right there before you hit the cave, and then also comes back out right there and goes around and hits that little mound part before it goes up right there. So if you kind of didn't understand how big it was before, or the design or layout, it's like this. So we already have the gradient already with the deep slate stone bricks, and now we're going to do like a little bit more deep slate to cobblestone, a little bit sporadic to kind of get that gradient effect a little bit, and then transition to the tough andesite, and then we have the stone brick right there. This is coming together pretty well. Look at this first little bit. I'm not done yet at all, not even close, but look at this little gradient blending right here. It looks so good. And then when I have the stone brick above that, that's going to make it 10 times better. It's going to be like right there. Oh, that's going to be perfect. And specifically, it kind of gives that good vibe where, like, it's not a docking area at all. It's more of civilian area because it's so high up compared to, like, what the docking area is going to be. And we have the first little gradient done on everything. And it looks insanely good. But I don't want to interrupt y'all too much anymore because we still have a lot we have to do this episode with all the houses, all that kind of stuff. And this is only the first part. So let's get right back to it. Coming around the bend underneath our little bridge, we have this part right here, which is not done yet. We still have to do the little texturing and stuff around the sides and everything, to like the little pillars and everything. But look at that! I'm just bringing the guys over here just for the little sides and everything. But look how tall that is. That looks so insanely cool. Like right now I have to kind of do the little siding things to kind of detail it. And then we'll be done with this, and then we'll be working on, yeah, I have to do that too. The little flooring first, and then terraforming a little bit. When I said this was not going to be like a port where boats could park at, I really did mean it, because looking at it now, you can tell these boats will not be able to park here at all. You can tell it will most likely just get absolutely destroyed by these walls right here. But it looks absolutely insanely good with what we have to this whole entire base, or Wayward Home Kingdom right here. This kingdom is prosperous, but also has defenses on the walls and ways to shoot out arrows and bows from beyond to protect its walls and protect its kingdom from right here. These ultimate seaport walls right here protect it from invading raiders from getting too close to the castle, ultimately protecting the castle and the king, but also protecting its people around here. Now it's time to actually kind of level out the land in a sense, or yeah, sort of in a sense. So we're going to kind of like level out stations where like the pathway and stuff will be at. So this would be like houses and stuff right through here, but this would be like a pathway and stuff right through here too. And then you also have that one, and then the pathway up there, and then like a bunch of other little retail places too. We're going to do that, and we're going to kind of clear out some land and get ready for all these houses to go down throughout here, and get ready to have like kind of a design when it comes to like a roadside just like that up there. Now the terraforming is done for this port. So we have this whole entire terraforming done. So we have like everything pushed back to a point, and that part I kind of have to do like some little bit terraforming details. Like I don't know what terraforming details I want to have to do like this for the whole entire build yet, because I still have to put the houses in and everything before I actually kind of see what kind of mountains and stuff I need to put in. We have this, and we're going to be putting some houses a good bit around, like specifically in the back row. You have like the back ones right there, and then you have the front ones right here too. Let's go over here and show y'all. So we have like a big open space, so we'll have the back row ones, and then we'll have the front row ones. But on this next surface, this is more of going to be an overhang a little bit, so like you can walk on the roofs of the houses a little bit, but this is also a pathway. And then you have the houses right here too, that are literally just right here, and then also you can walk on those houses from up here too, which is the cool part about it. And yeah, like looking at it from right here, it looks insanely cool and everything. And also from looking up here, it looks actually very insane, like how the world is coming together, specifically with this part too that we're adding on, which used to just be this wide, used to be able to only view and look good. Now we have that, which kind of obscures the view from over there, which this should be the main view. And then we have this little city, or little, not really city, but little small rural area, which when we finish that, it's going to make it so much better, because like this is the main part that I was like kind of excited for when I start doing this, because like the view from up here is going to look 10 times better, because I can't see the wheat field, any of that kind of stuff. Some of this stuff I can't even see really too much that I've done detailing, and specifically over there too. But this front part I can see from the castle, which is so insanely cool to kind of see our kingdom coming together. My main plan right now is trying to figure out what the style for the buildings will be, because it's not going to be like the ones in the episode before last, but it's going to be sort of in a sense, but also kind of more like structured in a sense, but also it doesn't look as structured. But we have a couple designs. So this is like my most recent designs right here, which this one actually looks kind of good for a tall building. Like I'm kind of going based off of the Italian village. How much is a house in Italy? Like this is literally off of an image from that. And then I have this one too. This one was pretty cool. I kind of did this as a little bit of a different thing to the top, because like this part they had underhang of orange. I was like, okay, I just put half slabs right there and then put the little trapdoors underneath afterwards. I was like, man, that even looks 10 times better. And then this little style that I saw a while back. But both of these do look good for what we are trying to make when it comes to like a very populated area. And then we have this one, which looks good for what it's meant to be doing. I maybe have to add a little bit more stuff, like maybe another pipeline or something like that, just kind of to drain off water and everything, to maybe add more detail to it. And then this one too, this one's more of a fancy Italian house right here that's white, but we also have these designs too. This one was a very cool design, which looks more in a rural area, not a very populated area like we're going to have right over here. I could have it in there, but I don't know for sure. We have this one, which I'm 100% going to be putting somewhere. This one looks insanely good, and I don't know about this one. This one's a weird one that took me absolutely forever. All these shulker boxes right here now have all the resources. But I want to start doing the pathways, because if I start creating the houses first, it'll kind of make it where I can't create pathways to other parts of the build or parts of this mega kingdom right here of Wayward Home, which would be a big problem. And the path specifically, it's going to be like this for a second, and then we're going to have some stone to get up to the next part. So just like this at the end of each one, that, and then boom, boom, like that every single time. I kind of looked at the Italian roadways, and it was something like this every single time. It would have these little brick ones right here, and then it would have these smooth type bricks on the ends when it comes to like walking up them. So I want to start doing that and kind of doing that design throughout this whole entire place. There's like, I'm very happy about them, because like look at this. Look at the little winding, it winds around stuff, like with all the places. It's going to kind of look like Italian back streets a little bit, where you're like walking through little corridors type things, and then you come out to like the big old open or something like that, to like this little seaport type thing, which, and then you can look back up and it kind of looks like Monaco in a sense, where you can see all the houses kind of stacked up on top of each other a little bit. And yeah, that's like what the purpose is of these staircases, to kind of create these interwinding paths that you can get through the city without kind of obstructing the city in any viewpoint at all. I have somewhat of a design or a layout right now, and look at this. So we have, I started on this part specifically because it's going to be like one of the tallest parts, just because this mountain's so high as is. And yeah, like this part specifically, like I kind of make it like where you can maybe go into like a couple of these here and there, maybe this one too. Like these are a little bit bigger due to them being on a bigger side of the cliff, whereas these could be like right there in a sense, a little bit up, and then some of them leveled with the cliff too, just so you can like walk on top of them and have like little bonfires slash cookouts, which is pretty cool. And also to add on to that other comments, like the one thing I kind of want to do is kind of separate the areas. So you have the high rich areas over here, and then you have the more populated areas that are like the middle class, all that kind of stuff, that kind of live sort of in luxury, but like also in safety of the kingdom surroundings and everything right through here. Hierarchy of this whole entire build, because you get from the more middle class or poorer class over here, while this part is like more of the financial slash trading district in a sense, where yeah, these guys send the trades over throughout here, but they also buy in big loads, which ultimately give them a lot more money, which ultimately sends up to right here, which, you know, they're the rich, so it's like, okay, like they just send it all the way back down from there. And that's the kind of little story that we have going on right here. And then we have the castle right there, which ultimately everybody has to pay their taxes to the castle, which ultimately they send all the money back down, one to the rich for the food, for the good processed food and everything, and then they send it back down just like on a chain and everything. We have the first little part detailed, and I'm absolutely loving it right now. Y'all saw the blank face of it initially. Now we have the makeup and all that kind of stuff on it. And look at it, like right here it looks a little bit weird, but when we get closer you start seeing all the details to it, which really encroaches upon that Italian vibe. When you have like different types of styles and stuff, like different types of window frames and everything on the side, and like it looks so good. You get this vibe that you're within like a small or like cramped up city a little bit. And now we have to kind of do, oh man, all these more houses, which right now it's taking me like 2 to 3 hours to just do these portions. So I want to maybe figure out a little bit of a better way to maybe do this. Kind of have the plan now. Instead of doing all that at once, we're going to do like sporadic builds. So instead of doing sections, we'll do a sporadic build. So like, I know this one fits in like certain spots, so like taller spots, so specifically maybe right there, and then maybe one over here too, to kind of put in the specific places. And then I'll start venturing out, kind of doing the different ones, and then also kind of doing different links of the builds too, to kind of integrate them into like just not the same thing, but some of them are the same things. The first little assets are done, so these little templates, so we have these right here that I'm going to start like kind of editing a little bit on these at least, and then these are going to be a totally different type of building, which are going to be more of sort of like that on the upper half, with the green windows, which is like kind of little tunnel ways through different parts of the map and everything. I personally didn't really want to go 7 blocks up because it's going to kind of like obscure this back part a little bit. But the main reason why I'm doing 7 on this is because this Italian back street that I'm looking at right now on this photo is like pretty cool and everything, and I want to copy it sort of off of like that. It's a real life photo and everything, and doing it like that makes it look integrated into the build like it's a real life thing, which I want to do that with all these other ones too, which is the hard part, kind of like splitting it between reality and what your viewpoint is trying to be on these builds. The idea with this one specifically, I'm going to kind of do a little bit different. So this is a bigger house than the small or these other small ones, and this one's going to be kind of going down to kind of resemble a restaurant or cantina in a sense for this portion of time for this little build right here. We are halfway there. I think we are halfway there, or about. But it looks absolutely so amazing right now. Like, look at this. It looks so good. It's coming together. But look at this. This looks insane. And we're halfway there. And, like, these houses are coming together so much right now. And I still have to do like a lot of other editing too throughout here, but it looks good. It's halfway there in my opinion. Little cheeky right there. I haven't seen a little cheeky. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, the little parrot wants to go see him too. Oh, that's so cute. Little chickie right there. Oh, I have not seen one yet. That's insane. Oh. One thing about this whole entire build is that like this is gonna be the most in particular builds like very design worthy more than anything, and specifically it's going to be more of like detail oriented and more about sort of mass and quality than over quantity in a sense, because I'm kind of going towards the quality type builds now, which is very good for like my overall kingdom right up there. So the one thing you have to kind of figure out with these builds though when doing them is like what are the styles for each one. So the difference in styles actually make up the build pretty nicely into like what it's going to be, because you have to have differentiating styles between each build overall, just like at this one and also this one right here, where this one is going to be more of like a little awning right there, and then some fence gates underneath like this, and then also going right back down again, sort of just like this, going to another layer to start doing another window just like that. So doing these differentiating styles kind of makes the Italian vibe, because you now have different styles to the different buildings, which ultimately make it into like the little rural area that you have within these Italian little cities and stuff. I've found a new window style, and this looks absolutely insane. It kind of looks like a little kind of Japanese type, Chinese type style folding door, but also you kind of have like the little silk on the window and everything to kind of let the light in without actually being able to look out, which is actually pretty cool and everything. But yeah, this is like kind of what I've done so far on this like new style, because I'm trying to implement more styles into like these buildings instead of just like copying and pasting all this stuff down and having not as many original buildings, but also right now I'm literally have a lot of original buildings throughout here. So we kind of have the thing kind of done as of right now. So we have all the houses done and all the details on the houses right now, and it looks absolutely amazing. This Italian village that we have designated out and detailed out, and overall like we have everything done detailing wise, but we still have to kind of do the little back alleys, the little walkway, and more detail. And also we kind of have to light it up so it can glow at night. But look at this. This looks absolutely insane right now. This village and everything. And there's like been parrots flying all around here. Like I can go through a back alley like this right here. And yeah, I kind of have to put some leaves and stuff and finish some little walkways throughout here. I have to do that. And then you can just come up. You can see the windows, all that kind of stuff. See some live animals here and there throughout the whole entire build, which is awesome. And just the overall experience of this build right now is given some of the vibes that I initially envisioned for it to give off. So let's look at it from over here as of right now. Like looking at this, it gives off that Italian vibe of a village that I was envisioning from the start of the build, which I couldn't find online at all. And now having this, it makes it look so insanely cool to actually have this Italian village all here as of right now and detailed out. But we still have to do the little market area right through here, and also we have to do the detailing for the little pathways and stuff. So let's get right into that, but let's enjoy this view too as we go into detailing this whole entire mega base Italian village. These back alleys right now are kind of like little stuff like this initially. So you have the little pathway going up, so you have the stone going up like this, and then like ultimately I'm kind of going more of Roman architecture a little bit, kind of like steeps like this a little bit in a sense, or Egyptian architecture from like the Moses movie or whatever movie that was. Moses movie, where like the dude fell off the thing while there's like off the scaffolding and stuff. But kind of doing it off of this a little bit. It looks cool and everything. Kind of having these little areas that you can go into, like these little houses and stuff. And it's like corridors between back alleys and stuff. So you come up from this alley right here. So you go through this alley right here. And I'm going to add a lot of detail and stuff throughout here to kind of signify different things. Like, oh yeah, this is like a very darker area to go into. And we still have to do a lot more detail to kind of make it more lived in a sense. Because it looks good right now, but it's so clean and so unrealistic. And we now come to the conclusion. So we are finally done with this project, this seaport project. We've been absolutely working our butts off for this project for the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks of just absolute labor on this project to now where we did the final finishing details in the last week. So let's do the montage of this seaport. A kingdom waiting to be reborn. A castle that feels empty without its people. A small town that populates the whole entire kingdom. We have the Seaport Village. A new village to behold the kingdom and the people of this generation. A new place for both the wealthy and the rural of the world to live. A vibrant escape between these new little narrow pathways and homes. A seaport that brings trade, money, and wealth to the whole entire kingdom. The ultimate multi-platform village. A style that goes between the Italians to the Greeks. Now rest in the harbor of this wayward home kingdom. But let me introduce to you the new Seaport Village. But anyways, I hope you liked that little montage right there. And look at this. Look at the Seaport Village from this perspective that we ended with. Without the vibrant visuals and everything, but it looks absolutely amazing from right here. It looks insane with all the details of the houses and little enclaves and the little sidings to the windows to decorate them ultimately, and the little trade port to add the last little bit to them. Right here with the market stands and with the little shipping containers and stuff that come off the boats and pirate ships just to sell within the market and everything. Oh, this looks absolutely insane and just blends right in with the little city and little town we have right there too. Just kind of goes right into this right through here. And we have the little back alleys that we kind of did. We kind of put a little bit of shrubbery and stuff throughout here. Not as much as that we were going to, but kind of detailing it to a point where we could actually still be able to move throughout here. And this looks absolutely insane to be able to go through these portions right here just like easily and have narrow pathways to go to the houses and little hanging closes and everything. And then you have like little stumps right here where there's just like open spaces and everything. And you can go back down to the little seaport. But yeah, look at this. We have it everywhere. The shipping and the buying place into our absolutely beautiful seaport village right here. That looks absolutely insane. But anyways, thank you again for watching this episode of Wayward Home. And we have one last thing we have to do today. And that is the museum today. We are back here after another episode, a successful build episode right there, right back at the museum. Our place where we remember what we have done in previous episodes up until now, where last episode we did the bridge and the little two castles based off of the London Bridge, and before that we started doing detailing a lot more, which was crazy, which was our first little gradient blending for the first time ever. And we did before that our little trees for the first time, our custom trees, and actually figured out how to build those, which were absolutely insane. And we have so many more episodes too before that of just being able to learn more build styles and everything. But anyways, let's build our thing. And there we have it, our little remembrance of the episode today, our little seaport. It kind of goes with this last build too. It kind of just goes free flows right into it, because now we have, like, technically it's on the bottom of this, technically, in a sense. So you have the little seaport village right here, and then in the background you have the little ravine slash cliff that we had from this episode right here that we created. So you can kind of see that in the background right there. And oh man, we have all the houses and everything, like miniature scale, to kind of show how big this build was overall, and how much like insane detail we did when it comes to like individual houses all over the place, compared to like that one that we have all the way over there, and this one right here too, where we didn't do as much detail, where it was like the same house over and over again, a lot of detail but same house over and over again, where this one we have so many different houses with so many different details and everything. But anyways, thank you again for watching this episode of Wayward Home, and please help me by liking and subscribing down below, because it really does help out the channel, because I've been shadow banned a lot, I've been everything at this point, and still YouTube is not really pushing my content out there as much compared to what I should be, and how much I'm posting on the regular too. But anyways, thank you again for watching this episode, and please like and subscribe down below. But anyways, stay cool above the ice, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.